Welcome to another episode of the APL show. That's Angels, Positivity and Love with incredible guests the world over, amazing insights, amazing backgrounds, here to share with us not just their life experiences and wisdom gained or earned, but also just love, high vibe, and sometimes angelic encounters and much more. Today, one of our veteran guests, I love her to death, coming to us from Canada, Tracy L Clark, I think in 2024. An organization out of LA labeled her the Energy Healer of the Year. I love that. She's an author, much more, show host, super big clarity on energy movements around the globe, but a healer and loves helping people out. She's
Oh,
had a long storied past. She was the first Canadian businesswoman to sell a public company, and many more or other accolades over time. But Tracy, great to see you again. Great to have you back on.
thank you. So happy to be here. So yeah, lots of shifting and changing, and it's actually wonderful. So we
I
have to.
love how you handle it all, how you describe it all, and you do it with such ease and grace, which doesn't mean you're not paying attention, but you know how to take it in stride and go with the bigger current of love that is helping us all out. Maybe you could give us a positive, kind of uplifting outlook for 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, I think people have to understand that to get to something better, you got to uncouple the old, right? And it doesn't mean after, for me and you, many of us have been awake for 20 plus years. You start to put the dots together a little bit clearer. And then, right, the guides, the angels, everybody helping us. And I always look for the confirmation. I think that if people are unsure right now, look for something that you had as a thought form that is confirmation. But 2025, and I've said this in 26, you got to look at it as we've been cleaning the foundation out to pour a new house. So the foundation has been ripped out. So they've ripped it out. There's a little more to go. Probably, we're going to have to go through pretty close to the end of this year. And you've seen all the stuff that has been ripped out, the truths that are coming out. Then they're going to start pouring a new foundation, which is 2026. So but for the rest of 25 and 26, everyone has to look at it that everything we know, if you go in past, has been crumbling.
Hmm.
If you look at the truths, it's crumbling, but not only crumbling right on the outside world, it's showing you what you got to also change on the inside of you. Your thought forms your truth. And it's okay to have a truth and then realize, oh, that's not my truth anymore. A lot of people get stuck during big transitions, and none of us have walked through this kind of transition before. We've had little ones, but I think everyone has to also realize, and what I always hear from spirit when I'm channeling is be patient as well with yourself, because we've signed up to be here. Yes, lots of people are still leaving. Yes, they're going so they can serve on the other side. Don't look at it as they're just whatever. They've chosen to go serve on the other side. But as these truths are coming out, look at yourself. And what are the truths about yourself? Learn how to walk through that, forgive it. And that's how we get through this quicker. The other thing I'm going to caution people is as you learn the truth, it could feel very shell shocked, kind of devastating. And ask yourself why. But as you work through that, take time to digest it because it's going to move very quickly.
Hmm.
Like I say, take time, but it's going to move very, very quickly. That get curious. Like somebody said to me the other day, they're like, Tracy, every time I have a session with you or talk to you or whatever, it's like, where does all this wisdom come from? Or like, you must be like off the charts intelligent. I said, well, I talk to spirit all day long, which helps, right? But I said, no, the difference between aware people and everybody listening to this, you'll get it. We're all the same. We all have the same capacity. When you become awake and you learn truths, you become more curious. And the more curious you become, the more truth and questions you will start to answer that you've had for so long. So during these 2 years, expect nothing to be what you think it is.
Hmm.
Expect nothing to be how it was. Get curious of what's unfolding and celebrate the wins as the little wins, celebrate them along with the big wins. So if all of a sudden you hear some information that maybe somebody was lying, cheating, stealing, and all of a sudden they have to go deal with that in their lives, celebrate that. That means more truth is coming out, and even in your own life. And so the energy is going to push all of us to a max, and it's also going to push us to start to really truthfully let go of fear.
I love this. It's so clear the way you're talking, and it's so reassuring. And I love watching you deliver this because you're doing it with just grace, ease, and I won't say joy, but I'll say confidence. And what I'll
Yeah,
do in a second is light a little bit of sage, put 10 angels up for 10 little reminders to us all along the way you've just spoken. There's about 25 subtopics that we're not even going to bring up about society, this country, that country, that would get it flagged as a show
for sure.
and get us kicked off YouTube. But there's one topic, how we're not alone in the universe, that we can maybe address after this.
For sure.
Okay, so I'm going to light a little bit of sage. People, if you haven't seen this, we're doing it way early in the show. You can catch sage. I think I've only forgotten to do this a couple times. And then there's been, 5 to 10 guests. It's just not appropriate, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's good where they are. Just
Yeah.
trust a little more if
Yeah,
you've got a big heart.
that's right.
Okay, so sage.
That's trusting, right? Trusting in things that are different.
There's sage, sage smoke, red-tailed hawk feather. You can catch it through 2 screens. Time and space isn't what you think it is. Just the way you might be selling yourself short for how big your heart is.
Exactly. And your energy.
And you're catching sage, no problemo, up in Canada.
No problem whatsoever.
Yay. And then I'll have an angel named Joy who will do a quick reminder. And I guarantee you she's already coming into you right now.
For sure.
Okay.
Mm.
One pink ball of light that's an actual photo of an angel if people didn't know. She'll move. You can see pink light in the room around you if you want to go crazy. Close your eyes, see pink light on your eyelids. There's a million ways to engage an angel. What does she have as 1 or 2 reminders for us all?
If you find yourself lacking in some faith, go play like a child.
And how about one more?
Well, that's both.
Oh, okay.
If you find yourself lacking, go play like a child. You know what? But okay, when you said that, and then I hear also playing is all the creative arts.
It gets your engine revving.
I mean, get out of what you think play is. If you think play is just, I don't know, singing, maybe try dancing. So she's saying like try lots of different things because that's going to keep your energy moving to keep your faith even higher. Don't go with what you just think you know.
Get the car out of the garage and don't just let it idle in the driveway. Actually put the top down or the windows down and get some fresh air.
Or maybe go right instead of left. If you go left every day or you go right every day, maybe take it and go on a different exploration.
I love it. Get a Twister board game. Twister, if people remember that. Toss out the game, but keep the little wheel and assign choices to the colors. Spin
I
that.
used to make people when a lot of my in-person classes, we brought Twister in for a reason. You do Twister with an energy with a group of people to shift energy. Get your Twister game out and ask for the energy to align. You'll learn a lot about someone.
I love it. Here's Charlotte. She's an amazing teacher, a little bit older. Everybody's favorite school teacher from third form, if you prefer, or third grade. The nice one, not the mean one. What are you getting from Charlotte?
She actually right away said it's time for everyone to stop dumbing themselves down. And she doesn't mean that in a negative manner. She's saying dig deep because you have so much knowledge and wisdom. Everybody here listening, it's time to use it.
If I only had fireworks I could light off in the house successfully, well, let angels do the fireworks. You are just knocking the ball out of the park with each one of these. And the opening. Here's Min, Mother Hawaii, ocean waves or light waves of energy and water. My guardian angel, 80,000 people's guardian angel. What's Min have as a reminder?
She says, remember how much we're actually cleaning you from the other side. Now, what that means, if people may need a little more explanation because they can see it, is it's almost like take it as you get it. They're helping you, like at the end of the day, like clean, like you're taking a shower, you go take a shower. They're helping you clean energetically to keep you as clean as possible. Don't forget they're there.
I have 4 archangels, rainbow pie slices, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. I cropped 3 more out of the picture. Jophiel, Shamuel, and Zadkiel are below, but here are the 4. What are you getting from them?
They say, they're kind of funny. They say, prepare for things to be at light speed. Don't get left behind.
Okay, and we're going to do a few more figures, but let's go to this big picture. There's people tuning
Yeah.
in that they're still trying to grasp what you could spend a decade or two more lifetimes trying to grasp.
Mhm.
Not alone in the universe. Can you do the typical Tracy L Clark patented method of just reassuring us about how big this universe really is?
The universe and the galaxies and all the well, the way I'll try to explain it to people, if you need to really grasp it differently, because I've started having a lot of connection with the other energy. We call them the cosmic friends. There's so many energies that come in, and they've been very strong lately. And one thing that people have to understand is when we're dealing with other energies and cosmic beings and just the universes and the galaxies, you got to relate it to something that everybody can understand. I always, because they said this before, you hear people say, oh, galactic federation or a group of people or energies off world. I said, dumb it down. Go to Star Trek. If you've never seen Star Trek, go watch Star Trek, because what Star Trek has shown us over the decades is there's a group of energies that come together on Star Trek. They're friends, they're allies. They want to be with each other and help the world be a better place. There's no money. Everybody has what they need, what they require. But if you remember in Star Trek, there's an episode where the whole world went to pot and they had to rebuild. And that's how they ended up, getting warp speed and stuff like this. So there's a whole process to understanding. And as you wake up and you start to understand that Earth is extremely special and special in how we are and the resources we have and the souls and the beings. And that is why, if you look at Star Trek, you have Captain Kirk and the other energies are around. It's the strength of the body of the human being of how we are created. And so if we can understand that, the more we come together as humanity, the more we come together to love and be not excluding people and not this whole space of division, but really inclusive, we can start to actually a ripple effect right into the universes and the galaxies. So we have a lot of allies on the other side that are rooting for us. And I believe, just like because I've seen it and I've seen it working with people in my own visions and connection, that we are not even fully, even us awake, comprehending how big the universes and galaxies are. And if we could really start to grasp that. So if people say, I don't get it, just go down the junkie hole of Star Trek, because they got it. And it's a slight, it's not as even expansive, but they got it for a base nugget of where we are and how we can come together.
Okay, and I've got to mention, there was Shatner and Nimoy in the original 60s Star Trek.
Yes.
You saw the animated version in the 70s.
Yes.
It was animated, it was
Yes. I remember.
all
Yes.
sorts of
70s babies we are. Yes.
all
Mhm.
sorts of other aliens on the
Yes.
bridge. And
Yes.
so this
Yeah.
is a different name on the show, but
Yeah.
probably representative of a Lyran.
Yes, I would say so. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think it had the word cat in it, but pronounced
Yeah.
differently, the species. But the
Yeah.
point is, Star Trek
Yeah.
definitely broke us in.
Yeah. For
Uh,
sure.
yeah, and then they straightened up the bridge a little. They got rid of the illegal aliens, the off-world ones, and cleaned it up a little, so you wouldn't suspect we were much more together than we thought. Okay, talk to us a little bit about the concept of like full-on seeing. Are all these off-world beings? Are some of them purely physical, or can they really move through dimensions? They can be here, they don't have to be here. They don't need a ship, they do need a ship. This is the last little nitty-gritty geeky question. It depends.
It depends where they're from, for sure. For sure. It's not, I think that we would have to be very small in thinking that they all have to look like us or tall or small or in that kind of form. There was a show and they're just showing me an image to explain it to you. Now if I can remember what it was called, it was back in the 90s. Basically, these energies, these beings had taken over the people, and every time they tried to expel the being, so they were kind of seen as alien, even though every time they expelled them, the human had died, right? Until they realized that, wait a minute, there's a way of integrating in the love, then they could kind of lift up, and they looked like a little amoebas. I wish I could remember what it was called.
Oh,
You would know
The
it.
Host, the
I'm
movie The Host, maybe,
been the host.
but it was by the woman who did
I'm trying to. It might be. And then
might have
the
been more 90s or yeah, there was the big book, The Host, and
it might have been, yeah, because then they become the host. So you're the host for that being, until it actually, yes, and then him
William Hurt was in the movie version as an older actor.
might be the
That's
host.
that's one of them, and it was Stephanie, whatever her name was, who might have done the Twilight series.
You might be right on that one.
There's probably a few different variations over the decades because they go
Yeah.
back to it over time.
So we become these hosts. So basically, but the way, and then they're in us and we're their hosts, but they're saying they're looking at that, saying there's so many forms, life form energies that are able to move very quickly through different galaxies, dimensions. And it's no different than how we look at our life form energies on our planet, right? Like you might look at a firefly or something, but you're just so used to it. So these energies are very highly evolved. Like we're not nearly as evolved as they are. I saw something today with these energies that were like, you guys think that med beds are so huge and important to come for healing, right? But they're like, that's like baby technology compared to what we have, kind of thing. So it's for us, it's like, whoa, people go, that's so crazy, or crazy that you can change your body in a minute, crazy you can get rid of something in a minute. No, it's not. It's just our limited of scope. Whereas these other energies, yeah, I like some of them when I've looked, they look as small as like a ladybug, an ant. And then they're as big as, Empire State Buildings. And we might go, oh my God. And some need ships and some don't. And some, yeah, it's just, it's a world of expansion that I believe is endless when I
And I
see them.
know over 14 years, angels have said, angels come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, all different sorts of purposes, pure
Yeah.
love, just here to help, no interference with your free will. But
No.
they live inside you and around you if you don't mind allowing for time and space to not be quite what you're appreciating. And what's ironic is they're still learning and they're still learning from us, even though from our perspective, they've got all the answers.
Well, for sure, 100%. No different than why when you see and you say it in your show, and I've seen it, we've all seen it, when people see orbs. Okay, take an orb. Like an orb, we know is an angelic presence. Okay, they fly in and they fly out.
Hmm.
Simple.
I love it. Okay, here's an angel named Harmony. She chose the word tranquility for her photo, but she's Harmony. She's fun. And what are you getting from Harmony for all of us?
This is as you expand who you are, that she's actually working very hard with a whole other group with her, of the harmony that's coming into the planet.
She's part of a little, and I'm using the wrong word here, cabal, but we'll call it Tea Time Group,
Yeah.
who is it's
Yeah.
harmony, faith, hope, joy.
Yeah.
Audrey Hepburn's part of that group. She's half grace, half sparkle in the moment. There's a Presley who's the interconnectedness of all, and a few more. But here's a Penelope who's a fun healing angel, very young. There's a smiley face in there. If anybody wants to catch a pinpoint of light the size of a Bic pen tip, she'll come by as a little softball light and do a little wiggle, say hi, I'm Penelope, and keep going. What are you getting from her?
This message I actually really like is that there's actually, as the new activations come into all of us, they're helping to put the streams of who we are back online. So as our cell memories are changing, our DNA genetic codes changing, that's allows more instant healing in our own bodies naturally. And they're helping with that.
This is so positive what you're doing. We're not getting banned on YouTube for anything we're saying. I love this. And I got something yesterday I was supposed to bring up. I had totally forgotten it till just now. I'm giving you a key phrase, but I'll put up two angels to reinforce it, maybe three. I lied. It's positivity is abundance. And I believe it was Archangel Michael who said that to me about 10 years ago. I've written it down. It's one of the 10 things I can remember in 10 years.
Yeah.
Here's a Rebecca who's from a really far away place, an angel, but where music came from, way beyond Andromeda, Orion, Sirius. Here's Michael, and here's Heather, who makes hearts in her photos. What are they saying about positivity as abundance?
Because it's infectious. So the more it's okay. So they say for people to look at it this way, if you've ever, the what do they call it? The Apple effect? Did you see that study, right? The Apple effect. They did it years and years ago where They took really positive people that were doing really good things and they put in one bad apple, bad person, and how it quickly destroyed everything, morale, the project, everything. So they call it the apple effect. And it's I paraphrased it so people can go Google it and find it. But so they're saying, although if you understand that study, so that was the negative side, if you're very positive and that becomes more infectious, it's 1,000 times greater than what that negativity apple effect was. So if you get into the energy and what's positive, so it's like if something bad happens to you or you don't understand, I always teach this. I say a simple tool, pull back and say, thank you, God, universe divine, whatever you want to say, angels, guides, you say, but say thank you to something. What's good about this I'm not getting?
Mm.
What's positive about this I'm not getting? And if you can go there, you'll be able to shift the energy really quickly and you'll get the answer. And now you're perpetuating more positivity into many people that are also having that same situation. And that's where change comes from.
Nobody who loses a job suddenly finds out they're getting divorced or breaking up from the girlfriend or gets a bad bit of news about the health ever runs around and says, hey, this is my opportunity for growth. Calls the
Right?
cousin, calls the friend, and then 10 years later, they're still usually saying, my problem is, my situation is, or
Yeah.
they're hitting the bottle. But the point on this is there's something beyond it when you can pull back the way Tracy was just describing, that your consciousness can shift and you can ask for help with
Yes.
from angels. Here's a Native American chief plus Archangel Gabriel. Red shirt is like the gentlest mom in the world, an actual Lakota Sioux chief wearing a U.S. presidential medal. And
Mm.
you should get something really gentle and fun from these guys. But if you don't mind catching one of those 50 sacred Native American scents in the air, tobacco, sweetgrass, juniper, cedar, pine, desert pinon, what are you getting?
Oh, I actually have some more. It goes from pine to sweetgrass. So in the smell, which I really like. And this one I really like. They're saying we're taking back what was originally supposed to be here on Earth. So they're helping reinstill like really good, good values, like back to where we were supposed to be, back to the roots. Like they're showing, if I can explain, but he's showing very clearly um if you look at just the dirt as if you have a camp there. So similar, I guess, if you maybe would see their teepees or whatever, if you want to look at it that way to try to put something in, but it's a dirt, it's a dance, it's a fun, it's like a joy, it's a celebration, it's a healing, it's a restoration, it's a rewiring. So that's a cool energy because there's a very big playful energy of bringing back what was to be. Oh, that's what they just said, Claire. So he said, where we used to play on the planet turned into like this heaviness and this fear and all that. And my whole head's like this. He's saying we're coming back now to the play of the planet, which is where we were supposed to be before it got co-opted. So they're really working hard and they're showing how the earth is being expelled of the pain and the suffering that has happened on the planet, right? War, all of that. So it's getting lifted. They're helping to lift it off the planet.
Mm.
So play can be restored to the planet. That's a cool one.
And
Oh, I'm just like fire.
I don't have the right metaphor, so I'm going to kind of
Yeah.
go around for it. But a train's momentum or the boulder starting down the mountainside is kind of where we're at. And then there's no stopping a boulder or stopping the rain or stopping the sunshine. Whatever metaphor you've got, you're going to have a better metaphor. I've got Dull Knife, Native American chief, Claire, an angel who's clarity, but also resilience.
Yes.
And one of my dog's guardian angels. And then Sri Shirdi Sai Baba
Oh, I
from
like
India.
Baba. Yeah, I know him. Yeah,
What are
no.
these three saying, Dull Knife, Claire, and Sai Baba, about this whole, the momentum, it's for real. Like there's no turning back on this stuff.
It's for real, but it's being your conviction, not righteousness. There's a difference. Being the conviction of who you are, where you're going into the positive, into the truth, and not they're saying like as you stand, they're showing it like as you stand in the peace, in the conviction. So you're not like yelling and arguing. Like it's not about that. It's about in the conviction of the peace. And if you hold that energy, that will speak louder than the people that are they show that very clearly. So I'm like, that's kind of cool.
I've
Yeah,
found you
to
can't
say
tell.
today. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I've found you can't tell anybody anything. You can try a little bit of gentleness, but it's better angels know how to navigate a person's personality.
For sure, right? Yeah.
Okay, three more. I'm going to do two angels and Mother Teresa.
Okay.
Reconciled for anybody who's worried about it. She's wonderful and just absolutely fun and sparkly. And then an angel named Dale, who coached an Olympic athlete we all know from the
Yep.
70s, who won a lot of golds. And then Matt, don't call her Mackenzie, everything plants, animals, and nature. What's their reminder for us all?
Mm. Find the peace within you.
So you're saying it's big, and all we have to do is slow down a little or a lot, and then go full stop still and
That peace
be.
within.
Hmm.
Here's an interesting thing that they show is as things are changing, and it could feel, and this is more Mother Teresa, as it could feel unsettled, like any form of chaos or change or events we've seen in the past. She says, remember that when you find that peace in you, even during those times, people were able to find peace. So the more you can find that, the quicker we can move through it.
Ooh. Big Mary said, love is everywhere, or love is a constant. Open your eyes to find love. Just thinking something or reacting to stuff, you pull out of the flow. The global slipstream of love or consciousness. I'm going to show some light on my fingers. That's great. You can see my light fine. But as soon as you see it and say what colors you see, and you get a dad joke, more importantly, um, ask for the universe and angels to bring in even more light. We'll just practice. What light do you see on the lighter, Tracy? White, yellow, gold?
Oh, gold.
Good. And anybody
Yeah.
at home, play that over again. Say it out loud. Your eyes work fine. You're going to see out of Celestine Prophecy, the movie, they did it this way. But as another guest said last year in the 70s when she was doing the
Mhm.
healer thing, they were doing it already this way before the movie got made. And then in India, they do it this way. But I'll be standing up, so I can't do it this way.
Yeah.
Here's the dad joke for everybody. Where in a hospital, you can't start laughing, and you have the best laugh in the world. We've captured it on all the other shows you've been on here. It's a very snarky laugh. People need to go watch her other appearances for not just inspirational, uplifting messages, but the laugh itself is worth the entire.
Dad jokes.
Yeah. So you're so close right now. Where in a hospital is the worst place to play hide and seek? Where? In the ICU.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'll tell you how I got all the jokes. It was back at University of Montreal, actually McGill. I double majored in cloning and hide and seek. I never finished the program. I had to take a year
Uh,
off to find myself.
oh, that's funny. Okay, I love
Okay,
it.
see a little bit of light. And what color or colors do you see?
There's orange and there's purple.
Okay, but now I'm going to go bigger. Ask the whole crew, galactic, angelic, everything.
Oh, it's actually it's a whole swirl of multiple different colors. So take the colors of the rainbow, but magnify them like in terms of the hues of them by about 10.
And since my microphone's up by me above my laptop, I'm going to start blowing your way and blow this energy your way. So you might or might not hear my voice or blowing. Here it
Yeah.
comes. Feel a little sea spritz on your nose, though, from Hawaii. You getting some energy your way?
Lots and lots. Yeah. And it's a
Okay.
nice cool energy too. It's a very, yeah.
I didn't do it. Don't blame Canada. Don't blame. She's a Caitian. Caitian. Caitian is what they did. Almost
Yeah.
the word cat. They were kind of cheesing out on that one. But boy, did that 70s animated show had a lot of different alien life who were wearing
Right.
uniform, like the modern Chris Pine versions. They do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I do have one or two more figures for you.
Yeah.
Just getting to my little folder. I had gone so far looking for Star Trek, I went off track here. Here's an angel named Isabel. This is a black and white photograph I borrowed from Italy in the 60s. Let the photograph we know can't move or smile more or sparkle more, but not true. And you're going to really feel this solar wind of love your way. She's in her calm,
Mm.
and she's got a huge message for us all. Plus, do you mind just getting a personal compliment? You're not sharing it out loud. Let her rock your world right now. And just say, got it out loud when you got it.
Got it.
Okay. Now, what's Isabel, ISABEL, have for all of us? And are you seeing the photo expand a little?
Yes. Yeah, you can see it expand for sure and in her space. Um yeah, it's interesting. How can I put it? She says, you're bigger than you guys know you are, but it's more like as much as that, like you're all rock stars, but you don't know it. It's kind of like that, right? So there's a play in there. There's a fun in there. There's a now I keep, and it's interesting because she keeps showing how the love of the cooking in Italy and stuff is the love of the place you need to cook in your life, if that makes sense.
We'll do Geronimo next, but I got to mention you're bigger than you think because this isn't about thinking. You only have to do 7% less thinking a day to pop like a
Right?
kernel
The
in a.
feeling. That's why the thinking gets in the way. Our brains, that's why they co-opted the brain because it's so limited, right? Compared to the feeling and the hard drive. Yeah.
That's right. And there's a Star Wars quote, which I always can sometimes find and sometimes not find, but I think I've got it right here. From the original 1977 Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Whoa, my ears are going off. Obi-Wan Kenobi's talking to Luke. Luke, you're going to find that many of the truths we cling to depend on our own point of view. I like that one.
I should show you this because we'll have some fun. This is something that I always have on my desk, which I don't know if you guys know what it is, but it's the Yoda book of quotes.
Ah.
It's always fun to have. When you pull that out, it's like you always got to have something on your desk and things, I think, that are really fun and make you just exude with happiness when you're doing the work. Yeah.
Here's Geronimo, but I'll hide my face as I do Yoda's voice and crack you up. We might get a snarky laugh here. Here's
You do
Geronimo.
Yoda.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do not. There is no try. What's Geronimo say about the whole topic today? We're doing a really good job of navigating it.
He says you actually have to, right now, with your eyes wide open, keep your eyes wide open and always look in the other direction.
Whoa, that's double vision. And there's an expression for that in the spiritual community of looking both ways or having a two vision. I just had on the APL Spotlight series, Louis Mel Madrona, who was doing it from a hospital. We had an emergency in the hospital while he was interviewing from Maine. He did Coyote Wisdom, Coyote Healing, Coyote Medicine, those books from the, well, I don't want to date the books, but from like late 2020, somewhere in there. But he's been around forever and he's got a Native American tradition side to him. Plus he's psychiatry and medicine, family medicine. But he talked about the double vision you get by embracing the Native American heritage and very much to the point.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. See, confirmation.
Okay, one more. Everyone knows what Mary looks like if you're in Europe, and I've learned the hard way. They have to have this particular drawing. So I'll flash it up before I go to a modern version.
Yeah.
Big Mary, but I've got a fun one that I really think is even more sparkly. She'll move in this photo as well. If people will allow for rainbow glitter all over their room and around them, if you need help letting go, throw finger paint everywhere without throwing finger paint, or make a circle with your hands. Tracy, you haven't done this in 30 years since you were 2. Exactly. Here's Mary. Let her do her job. You won't have to vacuum all the glitter later. And if you do, I want a mean email next Monday.
You just send the angels in to clean it up.
Exactly. Here's Big Mary. She says, love's a constant. Open your eyes to find love.
Yeah. And open the eyes of your heart to find love.
See with all of you.
Yeah. See with all of you. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Okay, last little bit of energy stuff. Then we're going to have you wrap up with, you're going to have to find 5 key takeaways. Don't worry, the video and my analysis software later will pull out 5 key takeaways. We'll trust ChatGPT and Glass is what I use out of Stanford to do all that. But you're going to do 5 key takeaways. Before that, we're going to do a little energy thing. We've done this before. I'll put my hand up in Texas. And I have Thich Nhat Hanh for you. Sorry, I got to do this. Thich Nhat Hanh, one more figure for you. He's so sweet and so fun and so much Vietnamese Buddhist temple going with him that if you can start to allow him just to bring you a lot of love, joy, peace, and calm, here he is. And voila.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Lots of wisdom there.
And if you'll catch Vietnamese Buddhist temple just 10 meters behind you, that incense that the temple would be burning, and catch it in your room. If you don't mind saying out loud when you got it.
I got it.
Okay. And then his reminder for everybody, he's always so succinct.
Yeah. So, wow. So much wisdom. Ooh, I don't even know where to start. That's a big one.
Okay, but you're good at this. So we're going to let you take on Mount Everest of love.
I know it's a big one. Because and it's almost so emotional as our hearts expand, we're going to really learn aspects of ourselves that we have to really embrace and love, because it's going to be a level of love we've never experienced or felt on the planet. Don't be afraid of it and don't push it away.
No drama, just Rama. But we're not going to bring in Rama right now. I'm just going to do some whooshing, and you still have 5 key takeaways. So I'm buying you plenty of time to let angels filter in. But I'm going to put my hand up in Texas. What do you feel in Canada?
Mm. Actually, it feels very tingly and very tingly. I can feel that energy power on my fingers. Of course, there's so much energy from all these angels. They're still here.
Oh my God, you almost were 1 second away from a snort. I love this. There's 3 whooshes coming, and here's the first whoosh and a little blowing. The microphone's up here. I'm going to
Yes.
choose Hawaii today, if you don't mind. Here we
Yeah.
go. I'm not a shy show host, so I don't mind blowing. And
All good.
what'd you get?
You shouldn't be. There's just so much that's like it's like moving up on a wave of just energy that's just like, oh, it's just going up. Like you're going surfing.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Although I've been watching e-foiling in Australia, like Mr. Bennett,
Oh.
Bennetts, that channel. I think I put it on my fun, gentle videos list on my channel. Oh my God, it is so fun to watch these guys go from Byron Bay and stay on their e-foils for like 3 kilometers, catching wave
Um,
after wave after wave, never going into the drink. They just keep going, and great music. He's a DJ on the
you
side.
brought that up and that was what they were showing. Yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
okay, good. Here comes the second one. No two are really the same. And if at home you're like, okay, what's going on? You've got screens, but think about when you're happy, you just dance for no reason. It's the same thing. Let go, allow, and let the universe do the rest of the dance for you. You just have to say, get me to the dance floor. Here it comes.
Oh,
And now you got to use words for this one. What are you feeling? What'd you get? What happened?
that one's like flying, like literally like flying, like just taking off. You got your cape and you're going. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put out imagery, which is just Mediterranean, beautiful dance floor, but with the water right behind you. So you must be outdoors and some great music, but I'm double whooshing. I'm gonna look like a goose blowing. I don't care. Tracy L Clark in Canada, who's amazing. You're hopefully gonna get whooshed and keep letting the whooshes happen the rest of the week.
Taking them all.
Completely different than the other two.
Completely. That one just feels like I'm on the literally on the, when you're on the boat, you're on the water and you're just like, ooh, it's so peaceful and warm and calm. And you just hear the birds and the waves. Here it goes. Yeah.
What's your first takeaway for us to keep it real, keep it simple, and keep it real simple?
Yeah. Stop second guessing yourself. Stay as grounded as possible and as curious as possible. Look at things from a new perspective, really new perspective. Don't be afraid to speak your truth with kindness and love and gentleness. And be very open for the unexpected, because it's not that.
I love this. Tracy L. Clark, always a ringer as show guests go. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. And everybody, it's going to be an incredible ride. So don't get off the roller coaster.